402 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, there is a man-made object the size of a football field orbiting the planet 16 times a day. And there is only one Indian to have set foot on this. The furthest inhabited outpost of the human race, the International Space Station.
Pilot Shubhanshu Shukla is the next one to come across, representing ISRO. It is his first space flight.
And
The journey began 1 minute past noon, Indian Standard Time, on the 25th of June 2025. The Axiom 4 mission blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center, USA, on a SpaceX Falcon 9 Block 5 vehicle piloted by Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. On board were 4 space travelers from 4 different countries.
Shusnansky and is a member of Axiom Space.
41 years after squadron leader Rakesh Sharma, Shubhanshu Shukla looked down on the earth and felt the gravity of his situation.
All this past year, Peggy has been complaining that I speak too fast, I am very fast, I do a lot of things fast. And for the first few days when I came to this station, I actually became slow. So that was my adaptation to microgravity. But I think it was initial 2 days, and after that, everything became normal. And right now, I think I'm very well adjusted to microgravity.
Continuing their approach to the International Space Station, they have just made their way past waypoint 1.
1 meter.
Shubhanshu Shukla and the Axiom 4 mission docked with the space station on Thursday, the 26th of June at 1 minute past 4 p.m. India time. A pressurized vestibule was created between the spacecraft and the space station before the hatches opened on both sides.
Nicole Ayers are starting to clear out the hatchway, and we are going to see the first views of Axiom Mission 4. Commander Peggy Whitson, the first one across the A-Pass hatch, receiving great big hugs from Nicole Ayers and the Expedition 73 crew.
With the arrival of the Axiom 4, the total crew strength of the ISS went up to 11. The International Space Station is designed to carry 7 crew members for long stay and can accommodate a maximum of 13 during crew changeovers.
It has been an incredible journey. I did not imagine all this when I started on Falcon 9 on 25th. And I think it has been made amazing or incredible because of the people who are involved. The team that is standing behind me, you guys have made it really special for us being here on the station. And it was an incredible joy to be here and working alongside with a bunch of professionals like you.
The 19 days the first Indian spent on the ISS might have been one of cramped existence, but it would be a minor sacrifice for the benefit of science. The Axiom mission had docked carrying 263 kgs of research equipment and material. While on board the ISS, Shubhanshu Shukla and his mission mates completed over 60 cutting-edge scientific experiments, including the significant Sprouts project. Critical for developing future space agriculture prototypes on long-duration missions. Other experiments Shubhanshu worked on were for ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, gathering critical insights for India's upcoming Gaganyaan program.
अंतरिक्ष में आने से क्या होता है कि ग्रेविटी चूंकि एब्सेंट होती है तो लोड खत्म हो जाता है, तो मसल लॉस होता है. तो जो मेरा एक्सपेरिमेंट है वो ये देख रहा है कि क्या कोई सप्लीमेंट देके हम इस मसल लॉस को रोक सकते हैं या फिर डिले कर सकते हैं. इसका डायरेक्ट इम्प्लीकेशन धरती पे भी है कि जिन लोगों का मसल लॉस होता है ओल्ड एज की वजह से, तो उनके ऊपर ये सप्लीमेंट्स यूज किए जा सकते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है कि ये डेफिनेटली वहाँ यूज हो सकता है.
It is not all work on the ISS, and when the experiments are done and the scientific equipment strapped down, the international crew spend time getting to know each other and swapping human stories from around the world.
15th orbit of the day, and it is already 13 days docked. So I guess we should be passing somewhere at the tip of South America.
To function in the ISS, Shubhanshu had a choice. Either to tether himself to stay stationary or float about free in the smallness of space.
Fourth and final member of Axiom Mission 4, representing Hunor in the nation of Hungary, their first visit to the International Space Station as well.
In a space of 19 Earth days, Shubhanshu Shukla, traveling at a fantastic speed of 8 kilometers per second, crossed almost 90% of the planet several times over, at a rate of 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets per day. He lived through more than 300 of each in his journey around space. But coming back to Earth, Shubhanshu Shukla reiterated what Rakesh Sharma had said 41 years ago. India is still out of the world. Seen from space, it still remains सारे जहां से अच्छा.
आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है.
At 4:45 p.m. on Monday, a Dragon vehicle undocked from the space-facing port of the International Space Station's Harmony module. And so began the dramatic re-entry of Shubhanshu Shukla, the first Indian to have ever walked the space station, 400 kilometers above the surface of the Earth.
Visiting vehicles when they are arriving and departing from the orbiting laboratory.
Before the undocking could happen, the pilot, Shubhanshu Shukla, and the other astronauts had to make sure that their re-entry vehicle was up to speed, checking and double-checking all the systems inside their SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule is part of the protocol.
And we are now about 5 minutes away from the new undocking command time.
And when approved by Mission Control, the hatch between the ISS and the capsule Grace got sealed, and the capsule undocked. The relatively slow 23-hour-long journey back began by slowly drifting in orbit while adjusting its position using short thruster burns.
It is a long journey for a 400-kilometer orbit space station, but these are orbital maneuvers. It takes time for things to adjust and get it precise so that when you leave the space station and where you splash down, all of it depends on the orbital mechanics, and it usually takes that long.
Once the space vehicle had its position and timing right, it jettisoned the service module, ditching the solar panels and extra machinery that would no longer be needed. The capsule carrying the 4 humans then dropped from orbit and began its controlled re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. As it entered the atmosphere, Grace turned its nose upwards to have the heat shield in place. At about 120 kilometers above the Earth's surface, the vehicle began to burn because of the extreme friction that the capsule encountered falling through the atmosphere.
On re-entry, Grace capsule had a outside temperature of about 2000 degrees Celsius. The inside temperature for astronauts remained what would be conducive for humans. The Grace capsule went up pristine white. It was on its maiden mission and came back sintered, but performed extremely well.
SpaceX Dragon, we have you loud and clear.
Inside the capsule, Shubhanshu and the others, shielded from the heat, at this point still faced approximately 3 times the Earth's gravitational force.
Automatically rotate to 26 degrees, which we just saw there, to keep the crew within acceptable G limits.
And as the capsule descended, it continued to slow down.
Excellent view.
Great view. Drogue parachutes are deployed.
At about 5 kilometers above the Earth's surface, 2 small parachutes released to stabilize the capsule. A few seconds later, still about 2 kilometers above Earth, the 4 main parachutes opened.
through things like cloud layer and any kind of atmospheric disturbance allows us to maintain visual contact with the vehicle.
And Grace gracefully floated down the last few minutes to the Pacific Ocean, bringing its human cargo safe and sound back to Mother Earth.
SpaceX taking splashdown. We are in stable 1.
SpaceX copies splashdown and stable 1. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.